Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
The story is about what I've been reading lately and what I have found in some books and also online. There are all of these things that are sort of just lining up. I read a book recently that I really loved called The Mother Tree by Suzanne Simard, I believe is the way you pronounce her name. And she's a scientist as well as a wonderful storyteller. And she talks about her childhood from the logging industry. Her parents were in the logging industry, and then she went on to study the networks underground of the trees. She became fascinated with that as a child. She actually would eat fungus that was near the base of a particular tree, a particular fungus that tasted sweet. And she outgrew her dirt eating phase, but she went on to college and everything, and she studied what is it? I forgot what it's called. Anyway, she was studying the soil and studying these, as she dug in the soil as a child, she noticed all of these little things going around under there. Now, there's a couple of things. There's mycelium that is under the forest floor. There's also she discovered mycorrhizal networks between trees, and how trees inform each other. They actually talk to each other, and they help grow. It's sort of like there's in permaculture there's this concept of the three sisters, which is one corn stalk and one legume, pea, bean of some sort, and then also a squash plant. What happens is the corn provides a structure for the squash and the beans and peas to grow on, as well as then the beans fix nitrogen into the soil, which feeds the corn and the squash. And the squash then also usually spreads on the ground instead of climbing up the corn stalk, and it conserves moisture in the ground. So these three plants all work together to help each other grow. And so there's this intelligence in the natural world. And this is what she wanted to study. And so this is what she goes on to study. And she, I don't know, got some kind of a biology or some kind of an earth science degree, and then goes on and gets a master's, and finally goes on and gets her PhD. And what she's doing is she's studying the effects of clear cutting, logging, and then also she goes back to making plantations then of different species of trees together, instead of how the logging industry does it in just planting one particular species of trees. And they don't do very well. And she's trying to find out why. She's actually working with the government. She lives in Canada. And so she discovers anyway, it was a fascinating story. And I don't have all the conclusions and all the scientific knowledge and everything that she has, and I can't explain it very well. But the whole story just really captivated me. And I have been interested in how nature informs our mental well-being. And this was like one of my forays into it. this morning I got a newsletter from the Marginalian, which I followed for years and years. And this woman who writes this, Maria Popova, is just such a brilliant woman. She takes so many, she reads and she reads and she reads, and it's all nonfiction, and she takes all, and poetry. And then she takes all of these disparate things and she brings them all together into these beautiful essays and from books and things like that. So this morning she was highlighting a book called The Paradise Notebooks. It was published in 2022, written by two gentlemen who, I think one is a geologist, and the other one writes essays and fictions and poetry. They're friends, and been friends for many years, and they decide to take a trip across the high Sierras from the west to the east in Sequoia National Forest. And I think they actually go up Mount Whitney and all of that. It's a 90-mile trek. And afterwards, they kept diaries and they kept notes and everything like that. And it's interesting because, it's these two guys, but they also take their wives and they take their teenage daughters. The daughters are both 16 and they're very good friends. It's just they each have one teenage daughter. And they go on this backpacking trip. And it takes them 13 days to go the 90 miles. And now I'm reading the book, and I found it on in an e format through the library, and it is so beautiful. The way they both write, and they bring all of it's like the transcendent, they realize the transcendent in nature. It just comes to them, and they've always appreciated it, but it's like it opens up the shaft of knowledge of the unity of all being, of the earth, of us, of the, and this geologist, he understands all of the geology of everything, and it's just gorgeous. So that's what I'm reading.
What's the name of the book today?
The name of the book is The Paradise Notebooks.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's just beautiful. Let me read a part of it. In the Sierra, we understand that we might, after all, belong here with tree and rock and time and light. We might, for a brief spell of years, have the luck to find a home here by following the beauty that beckons us. We are spellbound here. Thoreau wrote in the last sentence of his book about life in a cabin alongside Walden Pond, "The sun is but a morning star." The 13th century poet Rumi wrote, "As soon as you entered this world of forms, an escape ladder was put out for you." Emily Dickinson wrote, "This world is not conclusion." If we are to follow such declarations, we have to immerse ourselves in this world so as to find our way through to the deep reality of another world held within this one. It is as if the earth is complete unto itself, and yet a gorgeous portal. It is as if over a long period of study, we must dissolve ourselves. In just the same way that oxygen was an agent of change because of its toxic power, so the clarity we come to will break down the person we have constructed. who stands between us and reality. Once that dissolution has happened, then we can await the heat and pressure and movement, the patient recreation of ourselves, until one day in the sunlight we learn that our lives can hold oak and bear, green bottlefly and rough-hewn ridgeline. We can learn how a place we love composes us. We can work and live to honor the symposium of the whole.
Thank you very much, Adele. Really appreciate that. It was
welcome.
beautiful story.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. And I'm going to conclude that now. Thank you. I'll just show you a little bit of this. Okay.